answer like 3 or 4 of them without them wanting you to. Someone says, where do you get protein? And you say, it's a great question. That was my first question too when I went vegan. Good one. Don't say, where do I get protein? Do you know how many times I get asked that every day? Don't you have Google, bro? Like what? What not to do? What to do? Great question, man. I've never been asked that before. Thank you for asking. Where do I get protein? Protein is found in all plant foods actually. It's not exclusive to animal products. And if we are eating a variety of plant foods, fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, seeds and legumes, and we're getting enough calories, then by default, we will be getting enough protein. So you answer your question, but then answer another one. Go, in fact, sit back down. In fact, the world record holding strongman is a vegan. Mr. Universe of a couple of years ago is also a vegan. World champion arm wrestler is also a vegan. World record holding ultramarathoner is also a vegan. There are so many elite athletes, not just in the top 50, but number 1 position, who are vegan and showing that they're getting enough protein, man. You don't need to worry about it. Vegans get enough protein. Also, get back down. Also, we're getting this protein without all the other nasties. We don't consume the cholesterol in animal products, the saturated fats, the high concentrated doses of pesticides, the hormones and antibiotics. So we're getting protein which builds lean muscle just as good from plants as it does from animals, studies show, without all these other nasties that cause ill health and disease. Get back down. And it's not just protein that we can find in plant foods. All plant food, all nutrients that we need are found in plant foods. Everything, so iron and vitamin D and all of these things that we need, we can get from a whole foods plant-based diet. The only thing that we can't is B12, and that's because of the way that our food is sanitized these days. Otherwise we would be able to get it naturally in a vegan diet too. So that's the only supplement that you should be taking, but that's not just vegans, everybody should be taking that supplement. I feel like that's a good amount of answers. So you've got, where do you get protein? You also have answered that athletes can also be vegan. You've also answered that the only thing you need to supplement before they ask is B12. And I don't know, there's probably another one in there, but you see what I'm doing? When people come to you, they'll have a long list of objections, and that'll be quite a few of them. And your job is to be aware of what those objections are through questioning. You could ask the question like, what's actually stopping you from being vegan? Why aren't you vegan, man? I know I am. We spend 2 weeks me telling you all the reasons why I'm vegan. Why aren't you vegan? And find out what are these objections. Cross them off one by one. This is how you sell something to someone. This is how you make someone want something. Because when they've run out of objections, which happens, that's the beauty of veganism. I always feel bad when people battle me over veganism. They're like, listen, this is so stupid. I'll tell you why. I'm like, go ahead. People to walk away and think about what you said and do some of their own research to make sure that what you're saying is true and legitimate. You know, so if your goal is, this person will sit down for 10 minutes with me, and if they're not vegan in 10 minutes, there's going to be 15 minutes. And they're not getting up until they're vegan. I don't know what's going to happen. It doesn't have to be like that. Our goal, our job, I believe, is this: to plant these seeds, to answer these objections, to move people in the direction, to educate them, to encourage them, to inspire them. We have all the reasons why this is the right thing to do, and there's no negatives against this. And so you might get someone come to you with 15 objections, strong objections that they're holding on to, the reasons why they can't be vegan. They leave with 5, or they've only got 10 left. Great job, pat yourself on the back. Someone else might pick up where you left off. They might figure some things out for themselves. They might call you later and figure out some more from you. That's how we do it, without burning out and stressing ourselves out and putting this massive amount of pressure on us that you have to veganize every single person in the whole world or you're not a good vegan. You know, like, relax, just be chill. And if the conversation comes and you realize that they haven't gone vegan yet, but the conversation's changing, just let it change, man. When you start to be playing into that stereotype of being an annoying, pushy, aggressive vegan, that's another reason why people don't want to go vegan. I speech once in Melbourne in Australia, and halfway through my speech, 2 people walked in, and they were looking angry. They were glaring at me. They sat down and they glared at me. And I was like, oh man, what's going on here? These are not my people. Definitely not. So for the whole speech, they glared at me with their arms folded, just directing anger. And then when it was question and answer time, they put their hand up straight away. It was a man and woman, husband and wife. And they said, that's all well and good, James, but what about the farmers? So I was like, okay, they're probably farmers. And I said, that's a great question. That's a really great question. That's a little bit more complicated than where do you get protein? That's a good question, man. And I answered him as best I could, and I said, we need to look after the farmers. We need to help the farmers get an exit plan and move into a more sustainable job and a more ethical job, because animal agriculture is neither sustainable or ethical. We need to help these farmers with an exit plan. But one thing we should not do is help anybody at the expense of somebody else. That shouldn't be how it's done. And I tried to articulate this as best I could to this man. I said there are many different ways that we can convert farms now into things that will still be profitable and still bring in revenue for you. So there's options for us. And we went back and forth for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes, there's all these other questions that I felt like they were going to be pretty positive. Like, good speech, man, like that's what I wanted to hear. We went back and forth for about 20 minutes. I was trying to answer, I was trying to get him to understand. He was being quite condescending, quite aggressive, and I was trying my best to just stay positive, because this is how it is. We have 3 options when we're dealing with people, especially with an aggressive kind of person. We can come down to their level and fire back. And I see this online all the time, man. This is how most online communication goes that I've seen. Someone starts being a smartass, and then you start being a smartass, and then you just have this argument that doesn't improve anyone's awareness. It doesn't help anyone get inspired to go vegan. It's just an argument. It's just added negativity in this world. You go down to their level and you have this bickering fight, and no one gets any benefit from this. In fact, it's the opposite. You leave feeling drained and feeling negative and feeling depressed because you've just spent the last 3 days arguing with this person who is never ever going to go vegan or even cares. They just came for an argument and you gave it to them. I speak from experience on that one. I've been in a lot of these. Second option that we have, when someone is being aggressive like this, you don't need to go down to that level. Stay positive, stay respectful. Continue to respect these people even if they aren't respecting you. Model the behavior you want others to show. Model it. Be the best you can be, always. And show what it means to live compassionately, respectfully. You can stay up here, and they might stay down here. Okay, will something get through at this point? Maybe, maybe not. Possibly though. And at least you have done the best thing for yourself. And if this is an online thing, people are watching and seeing who looks like they're out of line. It's not going to be the person staying positive and respectful. But the third option, this is the best one. Obviously, when people are being negative, they can bring you down easily. It's easy to come down. A lot of people are negative. There's a strong pull to just do what everybody else is doing. But I'd recommend rising above that. You stay up here and they start down here. If you are respectful and you are encouraging and positive, no matter what they fire at you, and you just stay rising above all that, this is what can happen. They can meet you up there. Just like they could bring you down, you can bring them up. And that's what happened with this man and his wife. We started having this conversation, we went on and on and on. And other people in the audience started firing back at this guy. I was trying to be respectful. They started firing back, and it wasn't as positive as I was trying to model. And then the vibe of the room came down, and I started feeling really anxious. I'm like, man, I've just done this speech. There's a whole room of people, and the vibe is gone pretty heavy right now. And I felt it in me. And this is a really important thing I want to teach you right now, because this is one of the most life-enriching things that I have ever come across. This is the technique I was talking about with that meditation. When we feel these feelings, negative, anxious, angry, or anything, whenever we feel something like that, that's kind of pulling you down, our first response that we're habitually in is to run from it. We either run or we resist. So we get this negative feeling, we run to the fridge and get some food. People run to drugs, they run to television, they run to something comforting because they want that good feeling. Or we resist it. I don't want to feel like this. You add a layer of negativity. I don't want to feel like this. Why do I feel like this? I was feeling good earlier. I wish I didn't feel like this. I'm sick of feeling like this. You add a layer of negativity. There are two habitual responses. But something far better than that, that will help you come out of this habitual response to these kind of negative sensations, is to do that complete opposite and to face it. Something negative comes up. You stay with it, you observe it. What is this? What does it feel like? Okay, there's pressure in my chest. I'm getting a bit hot and flustered. My neck's a bit tense. I'm getting a bit agitated. Describe it, feel it, face it. What is this? What is it? And stay with it. Feel it as much as you can. It's uncomfortable at first, but this is all about stepping out of your comfort zone. And when you do that, that's when you grow. Yes, at first it's uncomfortable, but after you stick with it a little while, you become a little more comfortable, and it doesn't really affect you so much anymore. So initially when this anxiety comes, oh, the whole room, it's the vibe's going down, this guy's hassling me. At first that's strong anxiety, but when you face it, you're teaching yourself that you can handle it. And next time when that same level of anxiety came, it doesn't affect you anywhere near as much because you've taught yourself, this again, I can face this. You haven't ran from it and taught yourself that you can't handle it, and you haven't resisted it and taught yourself that you can't handle it. You face it. So
remember guys, binge on life, purge negativity and starve guilty feelings. Speak to you all soon and love you so much.